Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman, Adventures with Rhiannon, Stardew Valley 1.5, Retired Slow Play, part number 41. And we're going to take up where we left off, which was day 22 of summer in year number 2. If you caught that quickly enough, you'll notice how quickly our monies went up. So you'd have to watch the previous episode to see what all that was that we got money for, but it was like, wow. It went from a very low amount to a good amount. That's what we were shooting for. So again, each of those overnight ones, when they're big like that, get me very happy. So yes, the last episode, we had a lot going on. We had gone over to the quarry and kind of cleaned it all up. It had been a long time since we had been there. We found 2 iridium ore nodes that were in that quarry, and each of them gave us a prismatic shard. That's that real rainbow looking stone that you see in my pack there. That's never happened to me before. I know that they've increased, I think they've increased the percentage, or the tiny percentage that you can get them, but wow, that was really exciting. And I also found a very strange green creature doll looking thing. I don't even know what it's called, so very weird. And Gunther apparently wants it, and that's fine. So we have a lot of things we're going to be doing with this episode, so hang in there with me. So as you saw that I checked Piglet the pig, and he is becoming more and more of a piggy bank. And when his usefulness is done, we will be selling him, because I hate pigs. So if you don't know why, go back and watch a previous episode, me talking about how much I hate the pigs and why. So it's really easy to make sure you pet all your pets when they're inside the barn and coop. So run around and say hello to everyone and gather up all the eggs that these wonderful creatures have left us. And we also have a bunny rabbit in here, and he leaves us wool and rabbit's feet, which is actually kind of creepy. It's like, oh, here, I'm going to take one of my feet off and leave it for you. What? So anyway, we're getting our morning chores done. I had asked everyone in a poll on my community tab if they wanted me to show these morning chores that I do every single day, and the vote was yes. So I will. Starfruit, we had one. We put one starfruit in our seed machine. I'm sorry, it's kind of early in the morning here. I'm just waking up. And that made 3 seeds, so we were able to make 3 plants from one. We had a request from Kent for a starfruit, and I don't know how much he would pay us for it, but it certainly will help our relationship with Kent, who is he was a late comer to the town. He had been away at war, and so he came back, and so he was kind of one of those people that we had to kind of do some catch up with, although in all honesty, I'm really behind on my relationships, but I'm starting to work on them a little bit more. So we are very quickly filling up our kegs. I'm just using up all the hops. I just hate growing hops, but and I hate making that's pale ale that we're making with the hops. But it's like I like to have a variety, and here in the beginning I don't have enough of what I want to have. So it's money, so we're gonna go ahead and use what we have, I guess is a good way of putting it. Plus it's not horrible monies or anything. So I'm trying to make sure that I got the resources all put away that we had gathered. We had some clay. You can see Robin there. She's working on our farmhouse. We did another expansion, and she's working on it now. So bless her heart, she works from, I don't know when she starts in the morning, because she's already there when I'm up at 6 a.m. And I don't know when she's done, because I've come in at midnight and she's out there just working away. So bless her heart, she's a hard worker. So I was trying to I should not have been holding that starfruit in my hand. You can accidentally put things in the shipping bin, and you can only retrieve the very last one you put. So it's always a good idea to not have that in your hand when you're standing over a shipping bin. How crazy is that? Oh my gosh. So I noticed when I started to walk away that the grass was growing into my crops, and you always want to make sure that that is not the case. it can grow into your crops and destroy it. So I thought, let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I'm pretty sure the silo is getting a lot of use, so it's going to need some extra hay in it. And then I thought, what, why don't we go ahead and pick up the crops that are ready to go. So I was running around picking them up, and I hate it when I miss them, like that chili pepper down there. It's like, it's very embarrassing to go back and look at your play and realize you missed things. So, I'm sure you all do. And that makes me feel better to say that. So it's just that I'm going back and re-watching what I did. So yeah, anyway. So we got a number of things we're going to do. We're going to go see Kent, if we can find Kent, and get him this starfruit that he wanted as an anniversary present for his lovely wife, Jody. So that's what we're going to go do, and see if Kent is at home. He doesn't have a job or anything, and we're going to have a little cut scene here with Jody, it looks like. And good morning, hi. She's making popcorn, she says. Oh, and Kent loses it. Oh my gosh. So he is going to explain what that sound, and you can see his face. Look at his face. He's very upset. He's very angry, and you should know that sound would remind me of war. So he's very, very upset. That's very common with soldiers who have PTSD. That sounds like this, fireworks and a lot of things. Bring them right back to the things that they experienced in wartime, and it's very upsetting to them. And so he is talking about this with his wife Jody, and he's just, used to be his favorite thing. Well, things have changed. That's very much the case with soldiers with PTSD. Their life has changed. So they're having this conversation, and we just kind of happen to be in the middle of it. So what should we say to Kent? I don't want to lie. So, I don't want to say he shouldn't blame his wife. I'm not a therapist, and I'm not going to lie. So it's kind of trying to pick between these things. I don't know how each would react differently. And of course he says, you're absolutely right. And I know you're hurting. So it kind of acknowledges that he was hurting, but he's placing his anger in the wrong place. So they have to talk it out, and he just needs to tell her that the sound of popcorn is very upsetting, as opposed to screaming at her, which is kind of what you would do. That's kind of a real life thing, and it's interesting to me that Concerned Date brought that into real life. And so back to what I was started to do is bring a starfruit and give it to Kent. And I'm glad you're a friend of mine. Sorry about my behavior before. So it's really interesting that he acknowledges that conversation. And don't tell Jody. By the way, look in the top right-hand corner on the wall right there. There's one of those really weird green dolls as a poster. We got $500 for the starfruit. I have no idea what they would sell for, because I don't sell them. I keep them, and I make starfruit wine after I get a number of them. So just wanted to say hi to everybody while I'm here, and I didn't mean to sit down, and say hi to Vincent, who's, he's glad Dad's back, but he's different. Sure he is. So, it makes me, poor little Vincent, he's always so sad, and when you talk to him, he's very sad and grumpy, and it helps you understand why that might be the case. The characters and story and background is really rich in this game, and you can really get a pretty good picture of a lot of these characters and what's going on with them, as opposed to just flat characters on the screen that have no personalities. All of these characters have personalities. So I'm going to stop in here and make our donation of our strange little doll. You can see that the prismatic shard is something that Gunther wants. However, because we're not like on the last item of the museum or whatever, we're not ready for that, I decided I'm going ahead and keep those, and I've got a plan that I'm going to use one of them today, and you'll get to see what I think is if you have one and it's the first and only one that you have, this is what I think you should do with that first and only one that you have. There's interesting discussion about this on the forums with people just asking that exact question. I have a prismatic shard. It's my first one. What should I do with it? And the answers are overwhelmingly what I'm going to do with it. And I don't know what I did with my first one because I don't know if I looked it up to begin with. And the very first one, I have no idea. But the first one in this playthrough, we definitely know what I'm going to do. Because the game doesn't lead you along, I mean, it says Gunther would want to see it. It would be logical to take it to Gunther. So I know a lot of people did do that. They did donate it. Well, I know something else that you could do with the prismatic shard. As you saw, I hopped on the bus and came to the desert. And try to get off of the bus. And anytime I come to the desert, as long as I haven't got thousands in stock, I pick up all the coconuts and the cactus fruit and all that when I come. Remember this area over here that I told you guys about? It says donated to Gunther, but if you hold this and you stand in this circle here, some magic happens. That's magic on screen right there. And what happens? We've got this amazing sword. The prismatic shard changes shape before your very eyes. The power is tremendous. You have found the galaxy sword. Oh, wow. And we are going to compare this. Right now you can see it's 60 to 80 damage and plus 4 speed. It's a level 13 sword. Now, don't hold me to this, but I think before the 1.5 update, I think that this was the most powerful sword that you could have in the game. I'm pretty confident in that statement. So, irregardless, it's definitely one of the most powerful swords. Now, if you think about that, that's what you need to survive in places where there's monsters. Now, we're not going to be seeking them out just because. Another warp totem for the beach. We're not seeking them out just because, but if we happen to have to go to the mine, or at some point we're going to have to go to that skull cavern and go down 25 levels, I'm really happy that we'll have a good sword to take with us. And once we get back to the farm, you can compare the stats between the sword I did have and the galaxy sword. So you have now seen what I suggest you do with your very first prismatic shard. Go to the desert and exchange it for the galaxy sword. And so back at home, and we're going to get a few things we're going to do here. While I'm getting off to the farm here, I just want to thank you all for all your subscriptions. It's really helping me a lot. It's helping YouTube like me better, and it's letting me know that I'm doing something that people find valuable. So thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead, check out these swords. 30 to 45 -1 speed, plus 10 critical power. So it is a way better sword than we had before. So I'm very, 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 very happy we did that. And now I'm very, very, very happy that we got 2 prismatic shards at one time. So there's a list. If you go into the wiki and you search prismatic shard, it gives you a list of where you can find those. And where I found those 2 is on that list. So I thought it was very, very interesting. Kind of low percentage, actually. It's like, wow, really? Very interesting. I'm always trying to figure out where the heck I put the grapes. It's like, where did I put the grapes? So once we get our new shed built and get our mini chests set up, we're going to get that organized a little bit better. I'm looking here to see, I really would love to switch over to those iridium sprinklers, but look at those. We don't have the iridium ore yet. We've only got a little bit. So we're going to have to stick with the quality sprinklers through the rest of this second year, and hopefully by spring of the third year we'll be able to replace all these sprinklers with the iridium sprinklers, which the difference is the ones that I'm making, you can have 8 plants around them. The iridium, you can have 24 plants around them. That's a significant difference. And you know, just less sprinklers, more space for your crops. So what I'm doing here is I'm counting down, trying to make sure that I place it in the right place. And we won't need it until the next season, but we're almost there. It's the 22nd of the month, and the 28th is the last day of the month. So I was just trying to make sure that I went ahead and placed these new ones where they need to go. And I was just thinking, since I was thinking about it, I went ahead and did it. And we're also going to be working on setting up pathways. And I finally did see that hot pepper. Well, we're going to set up some pathways around, a lot more pathways than we have now for a lot of reasons. For one thing, the pathways do keep the grass away from your crops, and you actually walk faster if you're walking on a pathway. And I was noticing this when I was doing this, like, oh, that's right, pathways are so much faster. So I'm just checking the areas around. I'm going to be doing some cleanup here and deciding where our next building is going to go. If you haven't watched it before, this area right above us is Grandpa's shrine. And our grandpa is the one who left us this farm. And that's a shrine for him. And that is an important thing that we will deal with a little bit later. I'm looking around the farm right now, trying to decide, okay, where am I going to clear things? Where am I going to put things? And I thought it's time that we get some extra wood anyways. So I knew these trees were going to come down. I'm trying to leave the smaller ones so that they will mature into big ones. I mean, I don't have to clear that area yet, but I wanted to go ahead and clean up some of these, like the ones laying on their sides and the big ones, to give us wood and to clear this area a little bit. And I do have a kind of a blueprint for what I'm going to be going for. If you go to my game reviews playlist, there is a review for Stardew Valley, and in that review I do a screenshot of an 11-year farm, my 11-year farm that I have, and that's sort of where I'm going to be going with this eventually. It takes a while. I mean, here you've seen this is 41 episodes and this farm isn't even half built up because it takes time. It takes money and time, and so I'm just planning ahead. It's like, okay, I want to clear out these big trees, get them out of the way, and that way I've got plenty of wood and I'm getting a good start on the things that, making a plans for what I'm going to be putting in this area later on. And so you can go look at that if you want on that playlist. And the Stardew Valley game review, I think it says initial gameplay. And on my reviews, what I normally do, just kind of in general, I show initial gameplay, how to set up, how to create a new game, and show some initial gameplay. And then generally I will then do a review of the game to give you my opinion about it. So it's no big deal. I just like doing that sometimes, especially if it's a game I'm going to be playing. It gives everyone a preview of what the game looks like before I actually start putting up episodes. And actually, today that I'm recording this, I have a new game review of a new game that went live early this morning. And that game I will start uploading as of the day after the next day. So I don't want to put dates because it doesn't matter to you when you're watching. You could be watching this years down the road, so it doesn't matter to you. But I'm just kind of mumbling and rambling in my mind. So anyway, as you can see, we are getting quite a bit of wood. I've got 154 wood, 16 stone, among other things, and I'm just clearing this whole way right here. And I can't see because the trees were hiding. They had a stone right there. I've got a wood right there, so those things were blocking my way. And so just kind of clearing all the way here. Eventually we're going to put a pathway all along there. I don't know when. Soon is the answer, because I'm going to start putting the pathways in the various areas that I like to have. And you can see how slow it was walking through the grass compared to walking on the path. That's a big difference, isn't it? And there she is working away. Look at her, bless her heart, in the rain. And she even does that in the snow. I mean, heaven's sakes. And it's like, what the heck am I doing here? Yes, we're going to be planting a lot of those. We got a lot of those seeds. So anyway, we don't have the trees planted that I want to have planted. And we'll get an area for that. I may do a temporary area just to grow some of the trees we want to cut down, because the ones that you just saw up above by the fishing area, those give you hardwood. And that is an addition with the 1.5 version, which is now out on on the mobile version. Everybody's been waiting for that, and it has been released. And so that's a really cool addition, another way to get hardwood. The only other way to get hardwood prior to that was you had to go to the super secret forest. And then it would drop sometimes in the mines and various places like that. But now we can propagate them ourselves. We can grow them ourselves. So that's kind of cool for those because we need more and more red I keep saying redwood, it's hardwood. We need more and more hardwood for crafting and things, and so we're going to make that happen so that we don't. I do want to continue to go to the super secret forest. It's a fast way to go get some, but it's nice that we can propagate our own. It will obviously take a while, but anyway, and I'm keeping the seeds from the trees that I'm cutting down. And I first started playing, everything that I didn't need in the moment went in the shipping bin to kind of get our monies up. But wow, all of a sudden I look up and the day is over. It's 11:30 p.m. I don't stay out that late. Oh my gosh. So let's see what we got. We didn't have a whole lot of extras this time, but still $42.89, almost $4,300. And hot pepper jelly is not a huge seller, but hey, it is money, and we'll take it. And that duck feather, for $600 for a iridium quality duck feather. Thank you, ducks. We currently have 2 ducks. And oh, a new achievement, living large. Look at this. What is our achievement? I always have to look and see what's the achievement, what is it? And I never, because they're in weird orders. I can't figure out the orders. So I don't know. It's on here somewhere. I'll find it. It's like, what's the new one? There it is. Upgraded your house to the maximum size, living large. So that is sort of true. That has changed a little bit. That's not an accurate message. Look at that. What do you call it? Big giant bear. We're gonna go put this up here. Look at this room, guys. This is the kids' room now. It starts off with a crib and 2 little beds. So isn't that cute? And there was an extra room up top that you can do anything you want with. I'm trying to say hi to Harvey, and he just walks off. I did notice that the kitchen is bigger now. You can see it's quite a bit bigger. So I'm going to bring the table now and put it down in the kitchen. You can't put something on top of yourself, by the way. So you got to put it right next to you. Put that bowl back on there. So eventually, after we have expended the monies for all of these things that we need, by the way, to turn a chair, you right click it while you're holding it, and that's how you flip a chair around. Once we get all of the things done that we really need to get done, the expensive expenditures will eventually start really decorating this house. I love decorating the farmhouse. I think that's really one of the fun features. You can make it all your own. Oh, thank you, Wizard, for the frozen tear. And it is a mineral. There's a wonderful showcase on the forums where people have done screenshots both of the outsides of their farms and the insides of their farmhouses. And I've taken a screenshot of this farm close to when we first started, and at some point we'll start doing progression shots. I'll show them to you so you can see how far we've come from what we started with, which was kind of sad when we first got here. And Robin said she would help us, and she certainly has for a very large price. So saying hello to everyone and gathering our milk. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. I'm holding the right mouse button and just moving it around with me. Piglet is now worth, Piglet is starting to be worth a lot more as a piggy bank, especially since he's not giving me truffles. I don't see any truffles today. What the heck, Piglet? That's your whole job. Again, I needed one for the community center, and I was able to get that, and that's why we got the pig to begin with. But now I don't need it, and I don't want to have a pig farm. I never have liked that. So gather, gather, gather. And let's go check our coop and gather all of our eggs and other things that our coop creatures leave us. My coop is getting pretty full, and it kind of makes me sad when that happens, because I love seeing the new chicks that come. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so fun. The new chicks and the dinosaurs, which I really love, for the dinosaur mayonnaise. But I don't. It really is a bummer when they get full, because then you don't have that excitement of seeing a new animal hatch. Oh, there's 2 more starfruits. Check it out. All right. And our apple tree growing up there on the right. So it's like, okay, I wanted to get off of that before I did something stupid like ate it. And that's our apple tree. It's growing. We're getting into the fall, so in theory, sometime in the fall, that should be giving us, and it has nothing to do with the actual season. I think if I had planted it in the spring, it would have been done in the summer because it's inside in the greenhouse. So anyway, I wanted to make sure that we got all these things that we can put into our shipping bin, and we got a whole bunch of stuff today. So our monies overnight should go woohoo. So I like that. We've got 4 preserves and 1, one ale there that's ready. And let's see here. So many things to do, and we are busy, busy, busy. And we've got some crops to harvest, so we'll go down and get those after we get everything shipped. And I also want to put those starfruits in the seed maker. And what I'm just doing is starting to build up my supply of starfruits. And eventually, if you looked at all of the fruits available to use to make wines, which we have been making a few, the starfruit is the most valuable one. The downside to starfruits is that once they mature, you pick them and then you have to plant them again. There's another one that's coming up soon that you'll see why a lot of people choose that, because it's almost as valuable. So starfruits, yeah, I do like variety. I don't want to grow just one thing. I do grow one main thing. So for instance, the melons are my main thing in the summertime, but that's not the exclusive thing that I grow. Let's see what we ended up with. 5. So we took 2 starfruits and made 5 out of it. That is so cool. So like I said, once I figured out what seemed to be making the most money, then that's what I focus on. But that doesn't mean that's the only thing. And that's because I want to make sure that I have some of everything. So for instance, I noticed that the desert trader, or the desert, I forget her name, Sandy, she sells rhubarb seeds. And as far as I know, it's the only place to get them. So I'm going to go back up there, and they can grow in the springtime, which actually rhubarb does grow in the springtime. And so I'm going to go up there and get 5. I'm going to go up there and get rhubarb seeds so that we'll have them in our 3rd year spring, because I don't have them before. So I was thinking about where I want to put this sprinkler at. And kind of eventually I'm going to be using iridium sprinklers, but right now we don't have them. So I just want to put it in a place where I can grow 8 plants around it. And so that's what we're going to do for now. And again, the star fruits are, once you pick them, you can see they're gone from the ones I harvested before. So I'm just kind of, even though I only have 5, I'm going to go ahead and hoe up the 8 spaces around, and that's what it would look like. So we're going to go ahead and plant these 5 to get more. And for a while, that's what we're going to do with our star fruit until we have way more than we need for, I usually do 1 plot of star fruits. And the way I set up my greenhouse on the inside, I do 4, I think it's 4 different places in there of 24 each plant. And so we will eventually have 24 star fruit plants. And that will get us going. So that's good. It's good that we found that, or got it. I don't remember where it came from. Short-term memory loss. If you haven't seen any of my episodes, I do have it, and it's not a big deal, but I tend to repeat things sometimes. Sometimes I don't know if I've told you. Sometimes I want to tell you something again. And with the short-term memory loss, it's like, I'm not sure. So I do repeat myself a lot, but that's okay. It helps you remember, right? I tell my husband that I repeat things because I want him to be able to tell me things later. So he just kind of rolls his eyes like, what? I am checking in the area around here again. I'm looking at my spacing because it's time to put down some more buildings. And if you walk behind them, then you can kind of see what's hidden back there. rocks, tree seeds that are going to grow into trees or whatever. So, and my plan is to put pathways down there. So anyway, it's time to go gather some wood. And you can see this is not just putting it in the charcoal kiln. This is not to build a chest. This is a significant amount of wood. And you're going to see why. It is time for us to build another farm building. So I'm so excited about this. This is, again, part of my grand plan. And as far as just so that you are aware, this playthrough that I'm doing, it has direction. Obviously I'm sharing this game with you because I want you to see what this game looks like, and enjoy watching me play it. And I'm playing this playthrough. My plan is to play this playthrough all the way to what's considered 100% completion. And it's going to take a while because you can see that I'm not a power gamer. You can see the title of these episodes are called Retired Slow Play, because I do not power game. I play to enjoy a game. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I just had a mistake happen there, and I left this in so I could show you when you make a mistake laying down pathways like I just did, if you immediately pop them back up, and especially this is, I think cobblestone is the one I'm using initially. You can use your axe and hack it up, and you get them back in your pack. So you can see those are coming back in my pack. Now, I don't know if it would happen always on this particular type of walkway, but I know that I could do what I just did and get my cobblestone back. It's like, oh good, I made a mistake, but I fixed it. So I am kind of planning out the place of where I'm going to be putting my next one. And I want to try to make sure that I keep this area in front of the bat cave open. Eventually, a long time from now, we won't need the fruits in the bat cave, but that's going to be a really long time because we are so far away from that we don't have those fruits. I don't have those trees. I don't have an apricot tree, and it's going to be a long time before I can buy an apricot tree. Two things just happened. First off, I just noticed the time, so I can't go see Robin to build the building. And the second thing that happened is a train is passing through Stardew Valley. If you haven't seen an episode before, way up in the north, there is an area where a train goes through. And in theory, the train drops stuff off that you can pick up. My very first time of playing Stardew Valley, when a train went through, my very first train, I got like 17 geodes, which, oh my gosh, it was incredible. And all the times that I played after that, I kept expecting that kind of bounty. And it never happened again. I got all kinds of things. You get iron ore and coal, and sometimes you get really special things, like a very special pair of shoes sometimes that drop off of the trains. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can get. For some reason, this playthrough has had the worst luck, and there's nothing. So I stand here at the beginning, like I run up to where this train is going out through the next tunnel, and so I'm standing here waiting for the whole train to pass, and then I'm going to go look and see what it dropped off. By the way, this is a good area for resources. You can see the trees and the rocks and the weeds and things, so this is a good place to come clean when you need resources. And you can see there is diddly squat. There is nothing. This has happened more times in this playthrough than any other playthrough combined, and including my 11-year playthrough. It was to the point, it's like, are you kidding me? How could that be? I do not know I don't know what it affects that. I have no idea. But I was so aggravated. It's like, wait a minute, I stopped in the middle of what I was doing so I could come up here and just wasted my time. I was aggravated. Like, that is totally not fair. So I don't know if it's luck. I don't know if it's anything that affects that. It's just that very first time I got like 16 geodes. And you can see I wanted to bring my pathway all the way up. I love it. And I didn't know I could do that for the longest time. So my pathways go all the way off the edge of my farm. So I'm coming over here to double check as well. So right now I'm using cobblestone. Later on, when I am able to make a different kind of walkways, I will. But I like only the two that I end up using. And cobblestone is the first one that I like well enough to use. And it's made from stone only. So, it's pretty plentiful. Stone is pretty plentiful. I don't usually run out of stone. And you can obviously see all the various places that we can get stone. So that's one reason why I choose it. And I like the look of it. I like the idea of cobblestone. I noticed that we got a couple ales that were ready, and we had picked up a spice berry. So I put that away and pick up some hops. Like I said, I'm going to just keep using those for a while. They make their product pretty quickly compared to the wines. Wines are going to be higher priced, especially the fruits that I'm going to use. So for now, we'll go ahead and do that because that's money. And I was really aggravated that I wasn't paying close enough attention to the time and that I couldn't go see Robin. So we're going to hang on to that 300 wood, and that will be what we use tomorrow to build our or get started building on our next building. So that's pretty exciting. So we're making very good progress very quickly here, and it's all because that things were starting to rock and roll as far as our revenue streams. And we've got so many animals giving us products that we're selling, and we're using our preserve jars and our kegs to process our goods, which makes it more valuable. You get more money for it. So we're doing the right things in my own retired slow play kind of way. And so now it is bedtime. It's 10:20, and let's see how we did with our monies. So not too shabby there for our products. Let's see what we got. Look at all that. Even had some honey and truffle oil, 10.65 on that. Goat cheese, oh yeah. So 55.35. So that's great. That's a little extra money in the bank before we go see Robin. So I was kind of, in a way, kind of glad that happened. We're on day 24 of summer in year number 2. And so we're just gonna, oh, hi Harvey, there he is. Oh, he says he got up early to water the crops, which is hilarious because there's no crops to water. But thank you for the effort, Harvey. Your spouse can do all kinds of things. You've seen that he has made me breakfast. He has watered the kitty cat. He says he watered the crops. If the fences break, he can fix those sometimes. Came up here to pet the kitty. Also wanted to grab that diamond. Hello. That's the crystallarium. And what you do is you put any gem in there and it will make another gem. And those diamonds are worth 750 each. So we are making money as we speak. So got our goat milk, find a truffle. All right, Piglet, we'll keep you another day. 13,800 and something, 32. So he's becoming more and more of a piggy bank as we go along, and we'll just keep gathering the truffles until he goes away. Which we'll find him a good home, don't worry. And let's see. Well, everybody's getting their love. Let's see. Yep, got all things that we need to make sure everybody got petted. And I'm really trying hard to use my mouse wheel to rotate through my inventory. Saw that as a suggestion. Great idea. Just taking a lot of retraining from 2016 until now. That's a long time to be doing it one way and switching to another way. So anyways, I'm working on it, guys. It's hard to change the way you've been doing something. But as this saying goes, you can teach an old dog new tricks. I'm able to retrain myself. It's just going to take a little while. So I'm working on it because I can see it's much more efficient and faster rather than having to move my mouse all the way to the upper or lower end. I think what I had done there is I had accidentally put an egg in the mayonnaise machine, which I did not mean to do. So sometimes when I'm running along, I'm holding my mouse button down, and hello there, everybody. I put my mouse button down and I don't mean to do that. It's like, oops. So anyway, something's in there. I don't know what it is. It's okay. So we're going to put away our stuff that we don't need. We're going to pop some things, including that beauteous diamond. And I probably should keep a few, but right now we need money for a number of things coming up here. Because one shed isn't going to cut it, folks. We need multiple ones. So I saw that we had a whole bunch of things that we can harvest. So we're going to harvest ourselves here. Look at all that. Seems like hops is ready about every other day. I can see why you people like to use it. And I also see we got some melon. Hello, melons. Yes. We got 3 melons this morning, so that's good. And I want to remind you that I think I had planted melons too late. I'm hoping that they grow fast enough. They were supposed to be ready on it would have been ready on the 28th day. And I was afraid that I had lost about 4 seeds. So Mayor Lewis wants some truffle oil. And we'll get into that when we give it to him because it's just too daggone funny. A little bit of adult humor that kids would miss. That has to go along with something that happened early on. So we'll talk about that again later. So we're going to go see Robin before we forget and get a new building built on the farm. Of all the people we spend money with, I think Robin is she gets all of our money. She should be rich, don't you think? Because we spend a fortune with her. So let's check out come on, looking through all of them. Yes, we'll have a fish pond. 15,000 gold and 300 wood for a shed. And we're going to go ahead and click on build, and then you get to pick where you're going to build it. So I was really debating on this. I was at the same time looking at my other farm, my old farm, and saying, okay, where exactly had I put that as far as how far out? And so I'm really spending some time looking all around and looking at the other picture of the other farm that I had and trying to decide which would work best. And I'm leaning towards having the door of it right here lined up with the greenhouse. Or do I want to go further down? I was just kind of placing it. I wanted to point out that with, I don't know if it was with version 1.5 or if it was before that. I'm not sure. I think it's 1.5. You can now move your greenhouse. Any of these buildings that we are building can be moved. Not your farmhouse, but the other buildings in the game. So if you put one down and you're like, I don't like where that ended up, then you can move it later. And it does not cost to move your buildings around. You just have to make sure that you have nothing in the way. No rocks, trees, weeds, anything in the way. While I'm here, let's give Robin a gift. And she doesn't mind the sweet spice berries. So let's double check here. What I'm shooting for is to get 8 hearts with a minimum of 5 people and hopefully 10. And the reason for that is going to be revealed at a future date. If this is a first episode that you've watched, I am trying really hard not to do spoilers of things. I'm trying to let it happen as it plays out in the game so that if you play it, then you can experience it yourself. So, obviously watching it, if you're watching it, you don't mind spoilers happening in the moment, but I'm trying not to tell you about the spoilers, if that's making any sense whatsoever. So, coming soon, or that will happen later. Those kinds of comments are the things that they're like teasers. And that's one reason why I do it. But I do want to let you know there's some cool stuff coming up here. So again, I was double checking my sprinklers. We've got 4 days until the end of the year. I'm sorry, the end of the season. And then it becomes fall. So I wanted to start working on some of the seeds that we will be using. It. I know I'm going to have to buy a bunch, but you know what? Each one that we make ourselves, that's one we don't have to buy. So it's basically free seeds. We bought the initial seed and grew the fruit or vegetable, and then if we reuse it, that's free seeds. Eventually, my whole farm will be self-sustaining, and I won't have to go see Pierre for seeds at all. So that's my goal, because if we do that, it's just more money. We're making money from zero, 100% profit on that. So that's awesome, and that's how I like to play. I don't like to have to continually be buying seeds. And so that's why I'm taking what few pumpkins that we have, some of the cranberries that we have, and get those seeds made. It takes about 10 seconds to make seeds in the seed maker. And so sometimes if I'm doing other things, I'll run up there and put them in and go back and forth and back and forth. I just decided to stand here for those 10 seconds and get these processed. And eventually we'll have quite a few seed makers lined up in our shed, so that we can just run along, fill them up, go back and come back later. And so usually around the 15th of the season, I start making the seeds for the following season. And so that's what we're doing, is we're making seeds for the fall. And I really do enjoy that part of it. It's like, okay, I'm becoming more and more independent. And that is my goal. It really helps if you hit the right chest. So everything, all my seeds are going into one chest right now. And that is going to change when we get the sheds built, and we have a lot of things that we're going to be moving around here. So in the coming episodes, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of changes. So if you skipped an episode or two and you came back, you go, holy cow, this is completely different. And the answer is, yep, it is. And it's going to be. So right now I'm going to lay down some pathways around the edge of our planting area, or what will be the planting area. I am going to only expand a little bit this upcoming season, and it's largely because I just don't want to make 12 more of those sprinklers, because this is the last year we're going to use them, and I don't want to waste the resources. So I think it's okay that that's only the amount that we grow. Eventually my planting area will be a lot bigger, but that's okay, because I will have a wonderful way of getting things harvested that don't take time of my time. So again, there's a teaser for you. Something will come along that's going to make everything so much easier. So we'll get there, don't worry. So many different things upcoming. So you can see that that's going to kind of block off the grass. And I really like having those areas laid out. And so I'm going to put these scarecrows back on here. And I don't know that I've got them. I never feel like I have them in the right place. I think that scarecrows cover a 240 space area. That'd be 8 spaces to the north, south, east, west, and 6 spaces each to the northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. So if it's actually a 17 by 17 area, including 10 spaces in the corners of each corner. So I don't know if that makes much sense. If you need to see a map on that, you can go to the wiki and search for the word scarecrow, and you'll see a map of how much actually it covers. I know some people use mods in this game. I have no mods in this game at all. And one of the mods that I saw that actually is kind of useful is as you're holding a scarecrow down, it actually shows the area that it covers. So I don't know. I just tend to put enough around that I don't ever seem to have problems with scarecrows. If you don't put them down, you will have problems with scarecrows, and they will take your crops. And can you imagine, especially when you're paying a fortune for your seeds, having to lose crops because of scarecrows? So you definitely want them. Plus there's a kind of a interesting, I don't want to call it a mini game, but there's an interesting quest where you can gather all the various scarecrows. You've probably seen when we've gone to certain events, there were scarecrows available for purchase. There's 8 that are called rare crows, and eventually we will collect them all. And then when you collect them all, something else happens, so it's kind of cool. So eventually we'll get all of the various scarecrows available in the game. That's why you've got some weird looking ones like the The one looks like a pumpkin and one looks like a ghost or something. These top here two are the wooden ones. That's the first ones you are able to make yourself. And I made a few just to kind of to get me started, and then I collected a couple along the way. So you can see that I grabbed myself 5 copper bars, and my plan had been to run to Clint's and upgrade my hoe. So each upgrade of your hoe really does help you. And I thought, well, since we're getting close to the fall, I'll upgrade it. And then I noticed what time it was. It's like, oh, okay, I can't go until tomorrow sometime. So anyway, we'll get that done. We'll get that upgrade going. It's really a bummer you have to be without your hoe or any tool for a couple of days because they're not immediate upgrades, but that's okay. I was just looking around to see if I actually needed to use my hoe for anything before I turned it in, because there's nothing worse than turning it in and realize, oh, I need that for fill in the blank. So I'm okay to turn it in at this point. I won't be, you can't do the wiggly things, the artifact spots, but I can do without that for a couple of days. When I had come down here, I decided to do a little bit of cleanup. And again, I am looking at a blueprints of what I'm going to be, how I'm going to be doing this later. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and put some of these down, and because there's all the grass is always getting in the way of these things, and I can't get around as fast. So I'm kind of making my way down just a little bit, and so eventually we'll have this thing all laid out, all decorated. And looking in a way that I want it to look, and feel proud of my farm. So it's hard it takes a long time to get to that point. I don't know how many years it takes to get to where you have it exactly the way that you want it, and I don't know if that ever happens. It's like even my 11-year one, I think I see things that I would do differently. So, hopefully, I mean, again, I've talked a lot about that blueprint, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be exactly like that. It's kind of like when I built my farm, and I can't take any credit for it at all. I kind of went to the showcase on the forums and said, oh, I like this, and this about their farm, and I took various pieces of other people's farms and kind of incorporated it into what I wanted to do. So you can see I made another chest there, and I'm going to put it right here. I've been talking about doing this, putting it right here by the recycle bin. The purpose of that chest has one purpose, is to put the various trash that we fish up and put it in that bin, put it in that chest, and then feed it through the recycle bin. And the reason for that is all of that trash, the soggy newspaper, I think trash, eyeglasses, broken CDs, driftwood, those are the ones that come to my mind. All of those can be run through the recycling machine, and they make specific resources. So, I mean, I should have been doing that for the longest time, but I kept forgetting, and I was more focused on filling my backpack with fish, because that's when I generally get those things. But hopefully I'll start, now that I put that chest down there, I'll start remembering to bring it back home and put it in the chest and run it through the machine. And again, I hadn't really showed you guys this room up here. That's just like an extra room. I was also looking for Harvey. He's like, where'd he go? It wasn't 10 p.m. He wasn't in bed yet. We don't have any lights yet in our house. And again, we'd have to pay for them. And I don't want to pay for them yet because we have too many other expenses. We can make little torches, I think, and we may do that to get a little light, but eventually we'll have lamps and things like that. So here we are with the cheese and the mayonnaise and that beautiful diamond. Look at that, $7.50. Thank you. $21.90 is our total. And I think that, let's see what that takes us to. So I know we had, yeah, we're at 12,000 already. And so it doesn't take long to recoup your monies whenever you have got things rolling along. And that wasn't a real big bunch amount of stuff either. It was just no fishing. That's just what we had. So, oh, got some mail today. Oh, Pam found a battery in the drawer. Well, thank you, Pam. As you can see, it's lightning right now, so we'll get more battery packs. Those eventually will become something that we need more of. So that's why I've been saving them since the very first one. So it's a resource that we use for crafting, and we'll see that at some point. So I want to run over here and I'll look at her working in the rain. Bless Robin's heart. And she's building us a shed. So run over here and check on the animals. Hello, guys. Like, alrighty, dighty. You got any? Nope, Nanny has no milk. So always what I do is I pet them first and then go ahead and milk them. The pet gives them some relationship, and the milking gives them a relationship. I'm not trying to milk the pig. I'm trying to find out 14,000. You are becoming a better and better piggy bank as I speak, mister. And grab that. We don't have any extra truffles. On rainy days, your pigs stay inside and you don't get any truffles. Anyways. Oh my gosh! We get a new baby joining the family. A new lizard. And at the time I thought, oh, I should go find a unique name. And I thought, no, Bosso. It wasn't a Z, which would be Bozo. So, oh my gosh, look at this thing. We are loaded down. I'm not sure. We may be full. Because, and there's a dinosaur egg. Look at all these little babies. So I always try to keep one chicken, one duck, one rabbit, and the rest dinosaurs. Is kind of how I generally play. Then there's that void egg. Remember we got a void egg? It happened because a witch flew over the coop one night, and one of the eggs that were already laid turned into a void egg. We never did anything with that void egg. So because my barn is completely full, I decided I'm going to go ahead and sell one of these guys, and it sells for $15.60. So I went ahead and sold one of my ducks so that I could hatch a void egg. And you just put an egg in your incubator. That's only available with your large, it's called the deluxe coop. So I went ahead and did that because we didn't have, I had not done that before, and I want to get a few void eggs in inventory, and I won't keep the what hatches. Try not to spoil it for you. I won't keep what hatches indefinitely. I'll just use it for what I want it for, and then away it goes. So I want to remember to take the truffle oil to Mayor Lewis. We've got, look at all these harvestable items. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, yes, yes. Tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. You can pick tomatoes for cooking or pickling. And we've got our hot peppers. Same thing, cooking and pickling on the hot peppers. And we've got some red cabbages. Oh yes. Love it when they are ready to go. Makes me very happy. I'm just taking a look and thinking, okay, what do I need? I've got hops in my hand, so why don't we just go ahead and use those to refill the kegs with. And the preserve jars, I thought, well, I've already got blueberries, so we'll just make some blueberry jelly. It's not as high, price-wise, it's not as high as the melons, but that's okay. We need to process other things because I like that variety. So we'll go ahead and put those in the shipping bin. So that was quite a few items. And yeah, there you go. And now let's go have a little chit chat. See if we can find Mayor Lewis. But first, I knew I started to leave town. I was like, what am I forgetting? Oh yeah. I forgot my copper bars to upgrade my hoe. So I have not done a lot of upgrades on my tools because I'll eventually do them all, but they cost money and they cost the iron, the ore bars. And so I thought, hey, let's give her a present. There you go, Pam. And so I haven't done a lot of that. I know a lot of people make that a top priority. I don't make it a top priority. Some things I do. I mean, the hoe is really, if you're going to, eventually I'm going to have the highest quality hoe, but it's going to take a while before I have the money and the ore. I keep using the wrong tool. Wrong mouse button is what I'm doing. So anyway, I thought it was time to go do that, and I think along the way we can stop and say hi to Mayor Lewis and take him his oil. If you remember very early on, now watch what he says. This is just too funny. Watch what he says when we give him the oil. First off, we say hi to him, of course. And then we give him the oil that he requested. And I always double check, or almost always double, yes, it was Mayor Lewis, and we're going to give him the oil. You got the oil? Let me see. It's high quality, very slick. Great, thank you. Now, that plays into very early on, and $7.50 for that oil, which I could put it in my shipping bin for more, so that doesn't seem fair. But anyways, in the very early on in the game, he comes to you and tells you in confidence that he's lost his purple shorts, and it's your job to find them. Well, we found them in Marnie's bedroom, and we had to make sure that Marnie's relationship was high enough that we could go in there and get them. And so if you add that with him asking for truffle oil and don't ask why, I mean, that's an adult thing that's just too daggone funny. And it's really subtle, so that if a younger person, a tween person is playing that, they wouldn't know the significance. But for the adults, it gives us a chance to chuckle and help that relationship go up with Lewis, to help him out with his problem there. So I just find that is just ridiculously funny. Little things like, there aren't very many. It's actually, I don't even remember anything else like that in the game, hints about anything like that. It's just that one little thing between Marnie and Mayor Lewis, and it gives you a chuckle. And I was looking for Pam, and then it occurred to me, well, I've already given Pam a gift because she was at the bus stop. I keep forgetting that's where she's at. She used to work at the JoJo Mart until the bus gets fixed, and then she becomes the bus driver. And so she stands there every single day, middle of winter, snow. And it's funny because the only way to get on the bus is to click on the little ticket machine. Oh, look at this. We came in to see Emily, and here she is. Come in, Rhiannon. I wanted to show you something. Okay. It's my secret hobby. I've been practicing for 2 months. Now sit back, relax, and allow yourself to be carried away to a better place, okay? Alrighty, Emily, whatever you say. So she's turned on some kind of music, and she's going through some kind of little dance here. Emily's a character. Oh dear. So something kind of weird is going on, but we're relaxing, and or at least we're watching her relax, going, okay, she is a Looney Tune. And she is on some kind of really weird trip going on here. Oh my goodness. She's just dancing her heart away. Oh, some of these things are so funny, and shows you the character's personality. And Emily is definitely a character personality. Oh dear, aliens. Okay, that's a little bit creepy. I think they've got some bananas and some stars. Oh my gosh. We're like, wow. Whew. So, what did you think? Okay, now what are you going to say? Say nothing and do a slow clap. That would be rude. Thank you. So we tell her it's amazing. Why wouldn't we say that? Phew, it's quite a workout. Yeah, you were working out. I haven't been this sweaty since I ordered the pepper platter at Abigail's graduation feast. Well, I better take a shower. Thanks for watching. Okay, Emily, you are something else. So, I don't understand why you would want to say something rude, and I don't know if it would hurt your relationship. I'm not sure. So here I was looking at, did you see all these things that Emily loves, all of those gems? That's not because we've given to her. That's the only other way that we can find those out. But when people give you like secret notes that says Abigail Christmas list, or something, you find out what people's favorite things are through a various in-game ways. So you don't have to go to the wiki if you don't want to. If you wait long enough, those answers will come to you. So she had a lot of things that were loved. A lot of them were gems, and I didn't want to do a gem for her. I don't have enough gems to be given something like that away. I am starting to focus more on my friendship levels, and I'm kind of working my way down the top. So Lewis has got plenty of hearts. I don't necessarily have to work on him. I'll say hi to him when I see him. I saw Demetrius, and I work on the first 5 or so. And so that's what I was looking at. I was like, who would I need to see? And I thought, I'll go see Demetrius. and see if he likes grapes. I sure hope he does. Don't know for sure. So because I don't know what people like and love and dislike unless I look them up. And so I'm kind of taking a stab here and seeing how we do. And no Demetrius. I can't see him anywhere. I don't see him anywhere in the common rooms. So, and if you go downstairs, oh, there was Mayu. Might as well say hi to her. Hi, you. I think Sebastian lives in the basement, so I didn't want to go down there. So I don't see him anywhere. And a lot of times when he's not there, he's standing out at the lake. It's called the mountain lake. He's standing there a lot of the times, and I didn't see him anywhere. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to go in search of. I mean, you can go to the wiki and find out someone's behaviors, where they are on certain days of the season and certain days of rain or no rain, and certain days of the week. So you can go look up their schedule. The last I checked it, it was fairly updated. But in this particular case, I thought I didn't want to go in search of. So I'm checking here and saying, okay, I wonder if I can reach her to give her a gift. As you can see, I can't quite reach her. If I could have, the box would have turned bright white, the gift box. So, okay, I can't interrupt her. I was hoping I could. 2 birds, 1 stone, but no, not going to happen. And this is our fruit chest, which is going to be changed later. And what that blue one was at the bottom is called an ancient fruit. And that's what's growing in our greenhouse right now. And ancient fruit is like primo stuff. And I was really glad that we found that when we did. And I plan to propagate those, is my plan. And that's my long-term plan, to become rich. So it is 3:30 p.m. and I thought, you know what? We need some money, and fast money is fishing. And I know if you watched one of my early episodes, you're going to say all she did was complain about fishing, and that's true. I still hate fishing in the beginning. But I don't mind it so much later on when I'm able to have high fishing skill, the best fishing rod, a cork bobber, which makes the green bar bigger, and bait on my hook, which makes the fish jump on faster. So all of those things let me not hate fishing so much. So that's the story on that. I thought that we might go down. I noticed when I was making the cork bobber, we were very, very low on hardwood. And so I thought that we should go down to the super secret forest, and we can get 13 to 16 hardwood. And as you see, it took 5 hardwood to make that cork bobber. So that is going to be an ongoing need of hardwood. So I got to get on getting those trees planted. And I haven't decided. I don't think I should do it this season because the season's almost over. I think it takes a full season for them to grow, and then winter sets in, and everything kind of goes dormant in the winter time. So I'm not sure what to do yet. I'll think about that in the next few episodes, what I'm going to do. And coming back here, it's like, oh yeah, summertime, fiddlehead ferns, the only time you can get them. So why am I not coming here? And shame on me. I should be coming here. And you could see how quickly I was able to kill that slime. 1-hit wonder, yes. 1 hit and you are gone. I am so happy that we got that galaxy sword. So the other sword has served us well, but we now have a new best sword. Lots of ferns down here. Oh my goodness. Yes. We haven't used them much. Haven't used them at all yet, but we need them eventually. Ooh, an amethyst. Thank you, slime. Yes, 1 hit. Goodbye. You are gone. I like the sword. There's lots of different weapons in game. I like the sword because you can hit them from before they are hitting you, and they're far enough away. As opposed to a dagger, they have to get a lot closer. And a red mushroom. It's like, okay, thank you. That little sneaky guy, where did he come from? And he did hit me for 1 point. So, yeah, he was high. I thought there weren't any down here, and then I came, and then here he was. So. We ended up with 13 redwood, and so anyways, I was thinking, while we're here, let's just fish in this little pond. I think I only fished here once, so I couldn't see any reason why not. we're here already. It's 6:20 p.m. It's close to home, so it just made sense to me to come on down and fish here. So I don't know what kind of fish we can get. I'm not sure. I think this is considered the same fish that you would catch in a lake, I'm pretty sure. So that's okay. Why not? We'll make a little money out of the deal. And I think I started to say this, and then I stopped and got sidetracked, is that, yes, I used to complain a lot about fishing. I still don't like fishing in this game. I hate it in the beginning. Look at this. We got a gift out of the pond, and it's a wall basket. That's the second one we've gotten. Too funny. It's just whenever your skill goes up and the better fishing rod and all the different things that you can get to make it a little bit easier, it's less annoying and you make money at it. So at this point, this is how I would rather make money, as far as, fast money every single day. I mean, obviously farming is my thing. And once there's a catfish. I think that's my first catfish. Once I get my farm really up and running and the way I want it, the more barns full of animals and my processing all of my artisan goods, then fishing becomes something that I just won't do anymore once I get past a certain point. We had to fish in the beginning because we needed fish for the aquarium, or for the community center aquarium. But once I don't need that anymore, it's like, it's not an activity that I do because I enjoy it. I know a lot of people do, and they fish indefinitely, and that's fine. I don't. So that's not what I do. That's not what I enjoy, and it's not how I want and need to make my money. Right now, it's a pretty good way to make money. Oh, what's this? It's like, what the heck? I think it might be another catfish. Those catfish are kind of hard, and I think they are uncommon. I think that's what it said in the description of it, that they're uncommon fish. Which is great, because uncommon fish means more money. So, thank you. We'll continue getting uncommon fish. I like that. More money. That's why I'm here in the first place. I want to fill my backpack as much as I can, and then we'll go put them all in the shipping bin and see what we end up with the next day. And there we go. That was more common. You can tell because that one wasn't jumping around. Now the little old carp. This is an interesting area here. We're not done with it by any means. Up to the north of where we're standing, there's a little bear statue. And if you interact with it, he says something about something sweet and that he wants. And I've taken him all the sweet things that I've come across so far, and it wasn't what he wanted. So eventually we'll come across that one thing that he wants. By the way, did you see that lightning strike? At the same time that happened, my husband was in the living room, and he had a plate, and he put it down on a slate coffee table, and at the same time that lightning flashed, and I had my finger sitting on the mouse button, and it twitched because of those two things happening, and it pulled my bobber out of the water. Like, oops, didn't mean that to happen. It was too funny. So that happens. I hate it when it happens because, it wastes the bait, but it was kind of funny that it startled me. So it's 9 p.m. and it's like, okay, I've got a few fish in there. Oh, look, we're going to have a little conversation with Shane. This is interesting. Up late, huh? Yep. Here, have a cold one. Well, thanks, Shane, for the offer. That's nice of you there. Kind of having a moment here with little Shane. Bah, life. Yeah, he's kind of a downer all the time when you talk to him. So, I get it. You ever feel like no matter what you do, you're going to fail? Yeah, like you're stuck in some miserable abyss and you're so deep you can't even see the light of day? Oh, that's pretty dark, Shane. That's really dark. I just feel like no matter how hard I try, I'm not strong enough to climb out of that hole. Yeah, I guess all of us have felt that at one time or another. But that's pretty dark. It's like, okay, oh my. We just got 5 plus 50 energy, huh? Fast drinker, huh? Woman after my own heart. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Just don't make it a habit. You get a future ahead of you still. True. But apparently, well, my liver's begging me to stop. Better call it a night. Okay, see you around, Rhiannon. See you around, Shane. So what was funny about this is that once that scene is over and I'm headed for home, I'm still intoxicated. Whoa. Powerful strength. -1 speed, and it's gonna. It says I'm tipsy. So I've never really gotten into the, getting tipsy and intoxicated in this game. Is just like I don't in real life. I don't enjoy that. It's not something I enjoy doing at all. So I thought it was kind of funny. You're forced into getting tipsy. Maybe it was a way to say, hey, here's something that can happen in the game. I'm not sure what the purpose of that was, other than seeing that Shane was in a really dark place. And he stays, that's why he is, when you talk to him, he's like, what do you want kind of attitude. And so that's probably part of why. So anyway, interesting insight into Shane. And I was pretty sure that was our first catfish. And so it's like, okay, I got a lot of resources here that I need to put away. Among other stuff, all kinds of goodies. We've got time, it's 10:20. It's like, okay, where does everything go? Yeah, that's a, fiddlehead ferns are a forageable. So for now they're going in this chest, but later on we're going to separate those out and you'll get to see all that happen. And let's see, I was double checking here. That's a wood skip. That is a catfish, and that was my first one. And the wood skip, I have a gray star, and that was my first gray star one. So as you can see, for the most part, I'm keeping one of each and the highest quality of each. And then later on, I'll start keeping 5 of each, and everything else gets sold. So it's like, okay, what the heck am I doing here? Wandering around aimlessly. Here we go. Mushrooms are going in what's called the winter chest. In that chest, I do put all the mushrooms I find, as well as the desert items, just because there isn't much else that goes in the winter chest. There, you don't plant things. There's forageables that we'll be finding, but it just leaves a chest pretty well empty. So that's why I kind of been doing it that way. And amethyst, we're going to pop in there. So that wasn't too shabby. I think we've had a pretty daggone productive day. And going to bed at 11 o'clock at night, that's not too shabby either. So we're going to see here what we earned. And really, look at this. Oh my gosh, 7,500. Look at all of this. So we did a really good today. So with that, we're going to end this episode, and Catfish 312. I thank you so much for following along in this really fun journey I'm having. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. It lets YouTube like me better and lets me know I'm doing something that other people find valuable. The most important thing on my side, though, is I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.